I still remember the sound of the cafe door closing behind her. It felt louder than anything I had ever heard. "Ethan, are you even listening?" Lily asked, her voice calm but distant. I blinked. "Yeah, I'm here. Just thinking." "You always say that," she replied, folding her hands. "But you never really hear me." I forced a small smile. "Then say it again." "I'm listening now." She took a breath. "I can't do this anymore, Ethan." My chest tightened. "Do what?" "Us." She looked straight into my eyes. "This relationship. This waiting. This hoping things will magically get better." I laughed weakly. "They will. I told you, the startup just needs time." "Time?" she repeated, her tone sharper now. "Ethan, we've been saying that for 2 years." "Because it's true," I said. "I'm close. I can feel it." She shook her head. "Feeling isn't enough. I need something real." "I am real," I snapped, louder than I meant. "I'm trying every single day." "Trying isn't building a future," she said quietly. I leaned forward. "So what are you saying?" She hesitated, then spoke. "I'm leaving you." The words hit me harder than anything. "You're what?" "I'm leaving," she repeated. "Not because you're a bad person. You're not. But you're not enough for the life I want." I felt my throat go dry. "Not enough." "Love doesn't pay bills, Ethan," she said, her voice steady. I stared at her. "So that's it? Money?" "It's stability," she corrected. "It's security. It's knowing I won't struggle forever." "We wouldn't struggle forever," I argued. "You just had to believe in me." She looked away. "I did. For a long time." "Then why now?" I asked. "What changed?" She paused. "Ryan didn't change. He offered me something real." My stomach dropped. "Ryan Blake." "Yes." I laughed bitterly. "He's my investor. My friend." "He's successful," she said. "And he knows what he wants." "And that's you?" I asked. "Yes," she said, meeting my gaze again. "He chose me. He can give me the life I deserve. And I can't." I whispered. She shook her head slowly. "Not right now. Maybe not ever." I leaned back, feeling something inside me break. "So you're just walking away?" "I have to," she said. "I can't keep pretending this is enough." "Was I ever enough to you?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "At one point, yes. And now? Now I need more." I nodded slowly. "I see." She picked up her bag. "I'm sorry, Ethan." I let out a hollow laugh. "No, you're not." She stood up. "Take care of yourself." "Wait," I said. "Was any of it real?" She paused, her back to me. "It was. But real doesn't always last." "Or maybe you just didn't want it to," I said. She didn't reply. The cafe door opened, then closed. I sat there, staring at the empty chair. My hands trembled. My chest felt heavy. "Not enough," I whispered to myself. I clenched my fists. Was I really that easy to replace? No answer came. People around me kept talking, laughing, living. I felt invisible. I pulled out my phone, staring at her name. Should I call her? I muttered. My thumb hovered, then dropped. "No," I said. She made her choice. I leaned back, closing my eyes. "So what now, Ethan?" I asked myself. Silence answered. For the first time, I felt it clearly. I had lost everything. Not just her. Myself. I opened my eyes, staring at the door she walked through. "This isn't the end," I said quietly. But it didn't feel like a beginning either. I sat there longer than I should have, replaying every moment. What did I miss? I whispered. My mind answered with her words again. Not enough. I shook my head. No. I gave everything. A waiter approached. "Sir, are you okay?" I forced a nod. "Yeah, just lost in thought." "Can I get you anything?" he asked. "No, just the bill." He placed it down. I stared at it, then laughed softly. "Even this feels heavier now," I muttered. I paid and stood up, my legs unsteady. "Get it together," I told myself. "You're not done yet." The words felt empty, but I held on to them. As I walked toward the door, I stopped. "Lily," I said under my breath, "you'll regret this." I wasn't sure if I believed it, but I needed to say it. I stepped outside, the cold air hitting my face. "This is where it starts," I said quietly, "or where I fall apart." I took a deep breath. Either way, I'm alone now, and for the first time that truth felt real. I looked up at the dark sky and whispered, "I'll survive this, even if it breaks me." I stared at the email for a long time before I finally said it out loud. Funding withdrawn. My voice sounded empty, like it didn't belong to me. I picked up my phone and dialed. "Ryan, what the hell is this?" He answered after a few rings. "Ethan, I was going to call you. Then explain it." I snapped. "You pulled the funding? Without even talking to me?" "It's business," he said calmly. "Your startup isn't performing." "You believed in it," I said. "You told me to trust you." "I believed in potential," he replied. "Not excuses." My grip tightened. "This isn't just business. This is personal." He chuckled softly. "Everything feels personal when you're losing." "Did Lily know?" I asked. There was a pause. "That's not relevant." "It is to me," I said. "Answer the question." "Yes," he said. "She understands how the real world works." I closed my eyes. "You planned this." "I made a decision," he said. "You should have been stronger." The call ended. I lowered the phone slowly. "Stronger," I repeated. A week later, I stood in my empty apartment. "Sir, we need you to leave," the landlord said. "I just need more time," I replied. "A few days." "You've had weeks," he said. "I'm sorry, but I can't wait anymore." I laughed bitterly. "Funny. Nobody can wait anymore." "I'll give you an hour," he said before walking away. I looked around. "This is it, huh?" I packed what little I had left and stepped outside. "Ethan," a familiar voice called. I turned. "Marcus." He walked toward me quickly. "What happened to you?" "Life," I said. "It happened." He frowned. "I heard about the funding. Why didn't you call me?" "What would I say?" I asked. "Hey, I lost everything." "You didn't lose me," he said. I forced a smile. "I know. Come stay with me," he offered. I shook my head. "I found a place." "Where?" he asked. "You don't want to see it," I said. "I do," he insisted. I sighed. "Fine." When we reached the rundown building, he stopped. "You're serious?" "Dead serious," I replied. "This place is falling apart," he said. "So am I," I said quietly. Inside, I dropped my bag on the floor. Marcus looked around. "You can't stay here." "I don't have a choice," I said. "You always have a choice," he argued. "Not anymore," I replied. He turned to me. "This isn't you, Ethan." I laughed softly. "Then who am I?" He didn't answer. After he left, I sat on the edge of the bed. Was I really that easy to replace? I whispered. The question echoed in my head. The next day, I walked into a restaurant, trying to forget everything for a moment. Then I froze. "Ethan," Lily's voice said. I turned slowly. "Lily." Ryan stood beside her, smiling. "Look who it is." I forced myself to stay calm. "Enjoying yourselves?" "Very much," he said. "Life's been good." "I can see that," I replied. Lily looked down. "How have you been?" I laughed. "You really want to ask that?" She stayed silent. Ryan stepped forward. "I heard about your company." "I'm sure you did," I said. "It's unfortunate," he said. "But predictable." "Predictable," I repeated. "You lacked vision," he said. "And discipline." "You mean I lacked money?" I shot back. "That too," he said with a smirk. I looked at Lily. "And you're okay with this?" She hesitated. "Ethan, don't." I cut her off. "Just don't." Ryan crossed his arms. "You should move on." "I am moving on," I said. "Just not the way you think." He laughed. "From what I see, you're barely standing." I stepped closer. "And from what I see, You needed to tear me down to feel strong. His smile faded slightly. Careful, he said. You're in no position to challenge me. Maybe not now, I replied. But things change. Lily finally looked at me. Ethan, please. No, I said. You made your choice. Her voice softened. I didn't mean to hurt you. Well, you did, I said. Congratulations. Ryan put a hand on her shoulder. Let's go. This is pointless. Yeah, I said. It is. They turned and walked away. I stood there, staring at their backs. Not enough, I whispered again. But this time it felt different. Not pain, not anger, just emptiness. I walked out of the restaurant slowly. So this is rock bottom, I said to myself. No money, no home, no love. I looked at my hands. And no one to blame but myself. The wind hit my face as I stepped outside. What now? I asked. For the first time, I didn't feel anything. No anger, no sadness, just numb. I took a deep breath. Maybe this is better. At least it can't get worse. But even as I said it, I wasn't sure I believed it. I started walking, not knowing where I was going. Keep moving, I told myself. Just keep moving. Because stopping felt like giving up. And even broken, I wasn't ready to disappear. Rain hit the windshield like tiny bullets as I drove through the empty streets. I gripped the steering wheel tighter. Focus, Ethan, I muttered. Just get home. But my mind wouldn't listen. Not enough, I whispered. That's what she said. I laughed bitterly. 2 years. And that's all I was worth. A horn blared somewhere behind me. Yeah, I said, barely paying attention. Why does it still hurt? I asked myself. She made her choice. My chest felt heavy again. Was I really that easy to replace? Headlights flashed ahead, bright and sudden. Wait! A loud crash exploded around me. Everything spun. Glass shattered. Metal screamed. Then silence. I don't know how long I was out. Voices pulled me back. Sir? Can you hear me? I groaned. What happened? Stay still, another voice said. Help is here. I'm fine, I mumbled. Just dizzy. You're not fine, the first voice said. You hit another car. My eyes opened slowly. Another car? Yes, he said. A very expensive one. I tried to sit up. Is anyone hurt? A pause. She's fine. She? I asked. Before he could answer, a sharp voice cut through the air. So you're awake. I turned my head and froze. She stood there, perfectly composed despite the rain, her eyes cold and unreadable. Who are you? I asked. She stepped closer. Victoria Hale. I blinked. The Victoria Hale? Yes, she said flatly. Try not to sound surprised. I laughed weakly. I just crashed into a billionaire. Of course I'm surprised. Her gaze didn't soften. Do you have any idea what you've done? I didn't mean to, I started. Intent doesn't fix damage, she interrupted. I sighed. How bad is it? Bad enough, she said. Your car is destroyed. Mine is inconvenienced. Inconvenienced, I repeated. That thing looked like it cost more than my life. She studied me for a moment. It probably does. I let out a breath. Great. So what now? You sue me? I go to jail. That depends, she said. On what? I asked. On whether you can repay me. I laughed again. I can't even pay my rent. Exactly, she said. So we're done here? I asked. You got your answer. Not yet, she said. I frowned. What do you mean? She crossed her arms. You owe me. I get that, I said. But I don't have anything. You have one thing, she replied. And what's that? I asked. She looked straight into my eyes. Yourself. I blinked. What? You heard me, she said. I shook my head. I think I hit my head harder than I thought. You didn't, she said calmly. I'm offering you a solution. A solution? I repeated. To what? My life falling apart. To your debt, she said. I stared at her. Okay, I'm listening. She stepped closer, her voice steady. Marry me. Silence filled the space between us. I laughed. Good one. I'm not joking, she said. I stopped laughing. You're serious? I asked. Yes, she replied. That's insane, I said. You don't even know me. I know enough, she said. Like what? I challenged. You're desperate, she said. You have nothing to lose. I clenched my jaw. You don't get to decide that. I already did, she replied. I shook my head. No, this is crazy. You crashed into my car, she said. You can't pay for the damage. I'll figure something out, I said. How? She asked. Beg? Borrow? Run? I stayed silent. That's what I thought, she said. I looked away. Why me? She didn't hesitate. Because you're replaceable. The word hit me hard. Replaceable, I repeated quietly. Yes, she said. You fit my requirements. And what are those? I asked. Simple, she said. You follow my rules. You play your role. You don't ask questions. And in return? I asked. Your debt disappears, she said. I laughed softly. So I sell myself? You call it survival, she replied. I looked at her, really looked this time. Cold, controlled, unshaken. Why would someone like you need this? I asked. That's not your concern, she said. Everything about this is my concern. I shot back. Then say no, she said, and deal with the consequences. I hesitated. Say it, she pressed. Yes or no? I closed my eyes. No money, no future. I whispered to myself. I opened them again. You're serious about this? I asked. Completely, she said. And if I agree? I asked. You start a new life, she replied. I let out a slow breath. This is insane, I said again. Most life-changing decisions are, she replied. I looked down at my shaking hands. What if I regret it? I asked. You will, she said. But that won't change anything. I laughed quietly. You're honest. I'll give you that. I don't waste time, she said. I looked back at her. Say it again, I said. Marry me, she repeated. And your debt disappears. I swallowed hard. Everything in my life had already fallen apart. What's one more risk? I muttered. She raised an eyebrow. I'm waiting. I took a deep breath. Fine, I said. Her expression didn't change. Good. I shook my head. I can't believe I just agreed to this. You'll get used to it, she said. Doubt it, I replied. She turned slightly. We'll see. I leaned back, exhaustion hitting me again. Victoria, I said. Yes, she replied. What did I just get myself into? She paused, then looked at me. Something you won't be able to walk away from. And for the first time since the crash, I felt something stronger than pain. Uncertainty. My life hadn't just changed. It had taken a turn I never saw coming. I hope you understand what you agreed to, Victoria said as I stepped into the mansion. I looked around, trying not to stare too much. I agreed to survive. The rest, I'm still figuring out. This isn't a place for confusion, she replied. Everything here is structured. Feels more like a hotel than a home, I muttered. It's neither, she said. It's controlled. I glanced at her. That sounds worse. She ignored that. Before anything else, we set rules. Of course we do, I said. Wouldn't want this fake marriage getting messy. Her eyes sharpened. It's not fake. It's contractual. Right? I said. That makes it better somehow. She stepped closer. Listen carefully. No emotions. No interference in my business. No unnecessary questions. I crossed my arms. And if I break one? You won't, she said calmly. That's not an answer, I replied. It's the only one you need, she said. I exhaled slowly. Anything else? Yes, she said. You will act like my husband in public. Perfectly. And in private? I asked. You stay out of my way, she said. Got it, I muttered. Marriage without a marriage. She turned. Follow me. As we walked further inside, I whispered to myself, what did I sign up for? A woman approached us, smiling warmly. You must be Ethan. I nodded. Yeah. And you are? Sophia Hale, she said. Victoria's sister. I blinked. You're different. Sophia laughed softly. I get that a lot. Victoria's voice cut in. Sophia. I'm just being friendly, Sophia replied. Unnecessary, Victoria said. Sophia ignored her and looked at me. You look overwhelmed. That obvious? I asked. A little, she said. Don't worry, you'll adjust. I hope so, I said. Or I'll lose my mind. Victoria stepped forward. Daniel. A man in a sharp suit appeared almost instantly. Yes, ma'am. This is Ethan, she said. Handle all formalities. Daniel nodded. Understood. He looked at me. Welcome. Thanks, I said. I think. He studied me briefly. I'll prepare the documents. More contracts? I asked. Yes, he said. Everything here is documented. I laughed quietly. Of course it is. Victoria turned to leave. Mrs. Green will show you your room. An older woman approached gently. This way, sir. Thank you, I said. As we walked, she said softly, don't worry, you'll be taken care of. That's comforting, I replied. At least someone here sounds human. She smiled faintly. Miss Hale is not as cold as she seems. I raised an eyebrow. That's hard to believe. You'll see, she said. I'm not sure I want to, I admitted. She stopped at a door. This is your room. I stepped inside and froze. This is bigger than my old apartment. You deserve comfort, she said. Feels like a trap, I muttered. Or a chance, she replied. I turned to her. Do you believe that? I believe people change, she said. After she left, I sat on the bed. Comfort, control, contracts, I said. What kind of life is this? A knock came at the door. Come in, I said. Victoria stepped inside. You'll sign the papers tonight. Of course I will, I replied. No escape, right? Correct, she said. I looked at her. Do you ever relax? No, she said. Do you ever feel anything? I asked. Her expression didn't change. That's not your concern. It kind of is, I said. I married you. You signed an agreement, she corrected. Same difference, I muttered. She stepped closer. Don't confuse roles. Hard not to, I said. You expect me to act like your husband. Only when necessary, she replied. I leaned back slightly. And when it's not necessary? You don't exist, she said. I laughed softly. That's honest. I don't waste time pretending, she said. I looked at her carefully. You've been hurt. Her eyes narrowed. Stop. I'm serious, I said. People don't become like this for no reason. I said stop, she repeated. I raised my hands. Fine. No questions. She turned toward the door. Victoria, I said. She paused. What? Why me really? I asked. She didn't turn around. Because you had nothing left to lose. And you? I asked quietly. What did you lose? She walked out without answering. I stared at the closed door. Yeah, I whispered. Definitely something. I lay back on the bed, staring at the ceiling. This place is perfect, I said. Too perfect. I closed my eyes. Marcus would laugh if he saw me now, I muttered. From broke to billionaire husband overnight. I let out a breath. But at what cost? Sophia's voice echoed in my mind. She's not as cold as she seems. I opened my eyes. Then why does she feel like ice? I asked. No answer came. Only silence. And somewhere in that silence, I realized something. This wasn't just a deal. It was a cage. And I had walked into it willingly. I don't think she sleeps, I said, watching Victoria through the glass office wall. Sophia leaned beside me. She does. Just not like normal people. Normal people blink, eat, and talk, I replied. She negotiates and disappears. Sophia smiled faintly. You're starting to notice. I have to, I said. I live here. Do you regret it? She asked. I thought for a second. Every morning. But somehow less at night. That's new, she said. I nodded. What happened to her? Sophia's expression softened. She wasn't always like this. Yeah, I asked. Because right now, she feels like a machine. She used to laugh, Sophia said quietly. A lot. I raised an eyebrow. Hard to imagine. It's true, she insisted. Before everything changed. What changed? I asked. Sophia hesitated. That's her story to tell. Or to hide, I said. She doesn't trust easily, Sophia replied. I noticed, I said. I barely exist in her world. Sophia looked at me carefully. That's not entirely true. Feels true, I said. Later that night, I found Victoria still working. You're still awake, I said, stepping inside. She didn't look up. You're still talking. I leaned against the desk. Do you ever stop? No, she said. That's not healthy, I replied. Health is irrelevant, she said. Results matter. I crossed my arms. You sound like a robot. She finally looked at me. And you sound unproductive. I smirked slightly. At least I'm human. Debatable, she said. I stepped closer. Why are you like this? Her expression hardened. Excuse me? You heard me, I said. Why do you shut everyone out? That's not your concern, she replied sharply. It is, I said. I'm part of this now. You're part of a contract, she corrected. Same thing, I said. You can't expect me to stand here and not ask questions. I can, she said coldly. I held her gaze. You're hiding something. Stop, she snapped. I didn't move. You weren't always like this. Her eyes flashed. I said stop. Why? I pressed. What happened to you? Silence filled the room. For a second, I saw it. Pain. Gone just as fast. Leave, she said quietly. I stepped back. So there is something. Leave, she repeated. I nodded slowly. Fine, but you can't hide forever. I don't need to hide, she said. I need control. I walked out, my mind racing. The next morning, I found Daniel waiting. You're improving, he said. I frowned. Improving at what? Understanding her, he replied. I wouldn't go that far, I said. He adjusted his tie. Most people don't last a week. And I did. I asked. You're still here, he said. I smirked. Barely. He handed me a file. Review this. What is it? I asked. A business proposal, he said. Miss Hale wants your opinion. I blinked. My opinion? Yes, he said. That's new, I muttered. I spent hours reading it. This doesn't make sense, I said later, walking into Victoria's office. She looked up. Explain. The numbers don't match the risk, I said. You're exposing too much. She studied me. Continue. I pointed at the document. If this fails, you lose control of the division. And? She asked. And someone else gains it, I said. Who? She asked. I hesitated. Ryan Blake. Her eyes narrowed slightly. You're certain? She asked. I've seen his patterns, I said. This feels like him. She stood up. Interesting. You didn't see it? I asked. I did, she said. I wanted to see if you would. I frowned. So this was a test? Everything is, she replied. I shook my head. You're unbelievable. And you're improving, she said. I paused. Was that a compliment? Don't get used to it, she said. I smirked slightly. Too late. Later I called Marcus. You sound different, he said. Different how? I asked. Stronger, he replied. Less broken. I leaned back. Maybe I am. What changed? He asked. I stopped waiting for people to believe in me, I said. I started doing it myself. That's my guy, he said. I smiled. Don't get excited. I'm still figuring things out. That's enough, he said. After the call, I stood by the window. Ryan, I muttered. You're not done, are you? A knock came at the door. Come in, I said. Victoria stepped inside. We need to talk. About Ryan? I asked. She nodded. He's making moves. I figured, I said. He's targeting my company, she said. And underestimating you, I replied. And you, she added. I smiled slightly. Good. She studied me. You're not the same man I met. Neither are you, I said. Her expression didn't change. I never change. Not true, I said. I saw it. Saw what? She asked. Your weakness, I said quietly. Her eyes sharpened. Careful. I'm not attacking you, I said. I'm understanding you. Silence. You think you understand me? She asked. I think you're afraid, I said. Her voice dropped. Of what? Losing control, I replied. She stepped closer. Control is everything. Not everything, I said. Just what you have left. She stared at me. You're wrong, she said. Maybe, I replied. But I'm not blind. Another pause. Then she turned away. Prepare yourself, she said. This won't be easy. I nodded. Good. I'm done with easy. As she walked out, I felt something shift. Not just in her. In me. I looked at my reflection. Not enough, I said. I shook my head. Not anymore. For the first time in a long time, I felt ready. Not just to survive, but to fight. And this time, I wouldn't lose. Ethan. I froze the moment I heard her voice. I turned slowly. Lily. She stood there alone this time. No Ryan. No confidence. Just hesitation. Can we talk? She asked. I crossed my arms. About what? Please, she said. Just a few minutes. I studied her face. You've had months. Why now? Because I was wrong, she said quietly. I let out a dry laugh. That's a short explanation for a big mess. I know, she replied. And I deserve that. Yeah, I said. You do. She stepped closer. I chose money, but I lost myself. I looked away for a second. That line sounded better in your head, didn't it? I mean it, she said. I thought I knew what I wanted. And now? I asked. Now I know I made a mistake, she said. I shook my head. You didn't make a mistake. You made a decision. Ethan. No. I cut her off. Don't rewrite it. Her eyes filled slightly. I regret it. Regret doesn't fix anything, I said. I'm not asking it to, she replied. I just want a chance to explain. Explain what? I asked. How easy it was to walk away. It wasn't easy, she said. I stepped closer. You didn't even look back. She stayed silent. That's what hurt, I said. Not that you left. It's how you did it. I was scared, she admitted. Of what? I asked. Loving someone without money? Of struggling forever, she said. And now? I asked. You're not scared anymore? I'm scared of losing you, she said. I laughed softly. You already did. Silence sat between us. I see you've changed, she said after a moment. I had to, I replied. You seem stronger, she said. I am, I said, because I had no choice. She looked at me carefully. Is she the reason? Who? I asked. The woman you're with, she said. Victoria. I didn't answer right away. She's part of my life now. Lily nodded slowly. Do you love her? That's not your business, I said. It used to be, she whispered. Not anymore, I replied. She took a breath. I don't expect things to go back to how they were. Good, I said, because they won't. But can we start over? She asked. I stared at her. Start over, I repeated. After everything? I'll do anything, she said. That's the problem, I replied. You didn't do anything when it mattered. Her voice cracked slightly. I didn't understand what I had. And now you do? I asked. Yes, she said. I shook my head. Too late. She closed her eyes for a second. So that's it. That's it, I said. She nodded slowly. I deserved that. Yeah, I said quietly. She looked at me one last time. I hope you're happy. I will be, I replied. She turned and walked away. I didn't stop her. I didn't even try. Feels different this time, I muttered. Less pain. More clarity. Later that day, I walked into Victoria's office. She came to see you, Victoria said without looking up. You already know? I asked. I always know, she replied. I leaned against the desk. She said she made a mistake. And? Victoria asked. And I didn't believe her, I said. Victoria looked at me. Good. I frowned. You don't think people can regret things? They can, she said. But regret doesn't change outcomes. That's exactly what I said, I replied. She nodded slightly. Then you're learning. I crossed my arms. Ryan is getting aggressive. I'm aware, she said. He's targeting your company directly now, I said. He's predictable, she replied. Confident, I corrected. Overconfident, she said. I smirked. That might be useful. It will be, she said. I looked at her. You don't seem worried. I don't waste energy on worry, she replied. Then what do? I asked. I prepare, she said. I nodded slowly. He still thinks I'm weak. Victoria's eyes sharpened. Let him. You want him to underestimate me? I asked. Yes, she said. That's how people like him fall. I leaned forward. And how do they fall exactly? She stepped closer. People like him don't lose. Unless someone breaks them. I held her gaze. You want me to break him? I want you to decide who you are, she said. I exhaled. That's not an answer. It is, she replied. You can stay passive, or you can fight. And if I fight? I asked. You don't stop halfway, she said. I looked away for a second. Lily wants a second chance, I said quietly. Victoria didn't react. Do you? I don't know, I admitted. That's your weakness, she said. Or my humanity, I replied. She tilted her head slightly. Humanity doesn't win battles. Maybe it wins something better, I said. She stepped back. That depends on what you want. I thought about it. Lily's words. Ryan's smirk. Victoria's warning. What if I want both? I asked. Peace and revenge? You can't have both, she said. Then what do I choose? I asked. She looked straight at me. Power, she said. Silence filled the room. I clenched my fists slightly. Power comes with a cost, I said. Everything does, she replied. I nodded slowly. Then I need to decide, I said. Yes, she said. I looked at my reflection in the glass. Forgive or move on, I whispered. Stay weak or fight back. I turned back to her. I won't be the same person anymore, I said. Victoria's expression didn't change. Good, she replied. And for the first time I realized something. This wasn't just about Lily, or Ryan, or even Victoria. This was about me, and who I was becoming. I stood in the conference room, papers in my hand, heart racing. So, this is the board meeting, I muttered to myself. Time to stop hiding. Daniel appeared quietly beside me. Are you ready? I'm ready, I said, though my voice shook slightly. You look nervous, he said. Because I am, I admitted. But nervous doesn't win battles. He nodded. True. Control yourself. The doors opened, and Ryan walked in, smirking. Well, the underdog shows up. Underdog, I repeated, stepping forward. I don't think you understand who I am anymore. Ryan laughed. I understand perfectly. Still weak, still broke, still desperate. Not anymore, I said firmly. You didn't destroy me. You revealed who I needed to become. A hush fell over the room. People glanced between us. Ryan's smirk faltered. What are you talking about? I'm talking about growth, I said. About strategy. About strength you never expected from someone like me. Victoria appeared silently behind me, her presence calm but commanding. "Keep going," she whispered. I took a deep breath. "I've reviewed your latest moves, Ryan. They're sloppy. Predictable." He frowned. "Sloppy? You think you're in a position to judge me?" "I'm not just judging," I said. "I'm correcting." The board members exchanged glances. Murmurs filled the room. "You've underestimated me for too long," I continued. "And that's your mistake." Ryan's jaw tightened. "And what do you intend to do?" "Reclaim what's mine," I said, "and ensure your influence ends here." Victoria's eyes met mine. No words were needed. Her respect was there, quiet but undeniable. "You're bold," Ryan sneered, "and arrogant." "I'm necessary," I replied, "and I've learned quickly. Your arrogance is your weakness." He stepped closer, voice low. "You think you can beat me?" "I already am," I said, "in more ways than you realize." Board members started taking notes. Whispers filled the air. Ryan's confident posture began to crumble. "You've changed," he muttered. "You're not the same man." "I'm not," I said, voice steady, "because I had to stop being someone you could break." "You're delusional," he said. "Call it what you want," I replied. "Results speak louder than words." I turned slightly toward Victoria. "Thank you," I whispered. She gave a slight nod. "You're proving yourself." "I'm done hiding behind failure," I said. "Done letting others dictate my worth." "You've grown," Victoria said aloud. "Faster than I expected." I glanced back at Ryan. "This is the moment you realize who I've become." Lily appeared at the back of the room, eyes wide. She had watched silently from the sidelines, shock written across her face. "You always thought I was weak," I said quietly. "That was your mistake." Ryan looked furious. "This changes nothing." I smiled faintly. "Everything changes when you stop being what others want you to be." Victoria stepped forward, placing a hand lightly on my shoulder. "I see now," she said. "You're not just surviving. You're leading." I turned to the board. "Let's review the numbers again. I have a plan that secures our position and neutralizes Ryan's influence completely." A murmur of approval went around the room. Ryan's smirk was gone, replaced by tension. "You think this is over?" he asked, voice tight. "No," I said calmly. "But this is where your control ends." Lily's gaze followed me. Her regret was clear, but she stayed quiet. She realized she lost someone stronger than the man she once knew. "I didn't just rebuild myself," I said, addressing everyone. "I transformed. I won't let anyone dictate my life again. Not Ryan, not anyone else." Victoria's expression softened slightly. "You've earned my respect," she said quietly but firmly. I gave a small nod. Respect earned, not given. The board meeting continued, but the tension shifted. People listened when I spoke. Authority had finally found its home in me. Ryan left the room, defeated but not broken. I knew he would try again, but not today. Not now. I turned to Victoria. "I think we make a good team," I said, voice low. "We do," she replied, almost imperceptibly smiling. I exhaled, realizing how far I had come. From broken to powerful, from overlooked to commanding. And in that moment I finally understood something. The game had changed, and so had I. No one would ever underestimate me again. I caught Lily's eyes one last time. Her expression said everything. She had lost me, and I had never felt stronger. I watched the news on my tablet, barely believing my eyes. Ryan's company was imploding. Mismanaged deals, abandoned partnerships, and greedy moves had finally caught up with him. "Looks like karma's finally paying a visit," I muttered. Victoria stood silently beside me, hands folded, expression unreadable. I didn't need her words. Her presence alone was enough. "Do you feel satisfied?" she asked quietly. "I do," I said, voice low. "After everything, this feels right." A message pinged on my phone. "Lily." I froze. "Hello," I said aloud, unsure if I wanted to answer. "I need to see you," her text read. Please, I made a mistake. I didn't respond immediately. Instead, I leaned back in my chair. A mistake, huh? I murmured. That's a nice way of saying you chose money over me. She called shortly after. Ethan, please. Can we meet? I sighed, finally answering. Fine. But one meeting, nothing more. We met at a small cafe. Her eyes were red, face pale. Ethan, I was wrong. I can't stop thinking about what I did. I chose Ryan, I chose money, and I lost myself. I studied her carefully. And what exactly are you asking for now? Can we start again? She whispered. Please. I'll do anything to make it right. I shook my head slowly. You didn't just leave me. You taught me my value. Her lips trembled. I understand. But can't we try? I leaned forward, voice calm but firm. No. You had your chance. You left. You hurt me deeply. You have to live with that. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I regret everything. I thought I knew what I wanted. And what you wanted destroyed us. I said softly. It wasn't love. It was convenience. She looked down, silent. I didn't need to add more. Her eyes said it all, regret, shame, humiliation. Victoria stood a few steps behind me, silent, but her presence was grounding. I glanced at her. No judgment, no pity, just support. Lily finally whispered, almost to herself. I never thought I'd lose you like this. You already did, I said. You walked away, and now you watch from the sidelines. Her voice cracked. I didn't mean to. Intentions don't erase actions, I replied. You wanted money. You wanted power. You didn't want me. That's your lesson, not mine. I stood up. I've moved on. I've built myself. I'm stronger than I was when you left. I'm not the same man you abandoned. She looked at me, desperate. But, can't you forgive me? I don't need to forgive you, I said quietly. I needed to learn my own value. That's what you taught me. Ryan's name appeared in my thoughts. I remembered his smug face, his arrogance. And now, seeing his empire crumble, I felt nothing. Ryan's empire is falling, I murmured. He thought he could take everything, including me. Now he's just another cautionary tale. Lily whispered, I understand now. I see it all. Good, I said, because I don't need your understanding. I need my life, my peace. She fell silent, tears streaming freely. No words could fix this. Victoria's hand brushed briefly against my shoulder. Not tenderness, but a grounding presence. I took a breath, letting it anchor me. You've grown, she said softly. I have, I admitted, and I won't let anyone, past or present, take that from me again. Lily's shoulders shook, silent sobs escaping. I didn't look away. I watched as the weight of her choices crushed her. Public humiliation, loneliness, regret. It all fit perfectly with the karma she had ignored. You taught me my worth, I whispered again, almost to myself. And that's more than she ever could. Victoria said nothing, but her steady gaze said enough. I turned back to Lily one last time. She couldn't meet my eyes now. You lost more than me, I said quietly. You lost your chance to see what mattered. Remember that every day. She nodded, defeated. I will. I walked away, Victoria at my side. Silent, unwavering, supportive. Not soft, not emotional, just there. That was enough. For the first time in months, I felt free, strong, untouchable. I glanced back once at Lily. She was gone, alone with her regret. And I smiled softly, because I was no longer the boy she abandoned. I was the man she could never break. And neither could anyone else. I found Victoria in the library, sitting in her usual posture. Perfect, composed, unreadable. I hesitated at the doorway. You're late, she said softly, not looking up. I'm here now, I replied, stepping closer. She finally glanced at me. Do you want to sit? I do, I said, lowering myself into the chair across from her. Silence stretched between us. The usual tension, the polite distance, but something felt different tonight. "You've been quiet," she said finally. "I've been thinking," I admitted. "About us, about you." Her lips twitched slightly, almost a smile. "Careful. That sounds dangerous." "I think it's time you told me," I said. "Why you are the way you are. Why you're this Ice Queen." She exhaled, looking down at her hands. "It's not a story I share easily." "You can trust me," I said quietly. Her eyes met mine, sharp but vulnerable. "I used to trust someone, everything. I believed in them completely. And they destroyed me." "Destroyed you?" I asked softly. "Yes," she said, voice trembling slightly. "Betrayal, it broke me. Not physically, but inside. I became cautious, cold. I built walls because I was afraid to be hurt again. I leaned in. That explains a lot. The distance, the rules, the way you control everything." She nodded slowly. "I don't trust people, not easily. But," her voice caught, "I don't want to be alone anymore." I reached across the table, gently touching her hand. "You're not alone. Not with me." She looked startled but didn't pull away. Her eyes shimmered in the dim light. "I've spent so long hiding, pretending, afraid to let anyone in." "Then let me in," I said. "I don't need perfection. I just need you." She swallowed hard. "I don't know how." "You'll learn," I said. "Together." For the first time, her icy facade melted just a little. I saw the woman beneath it, the hurt, the fear, the humanity. "You're not like anyone I've ever known," she whispered. "And neither are you," I said. A small, genuine smile appeared on her lips. "Maybe we're both learning." "Yes," I said softly. "Learning to trust. Learning to be real." She looked at me longer this time, no pretense, no walls. Just Victoria. "And if I fail?" she asked quietly. "You won't," I replied. "Not if we face it together." She let out a breath she'd been holding for years. "Together," I nodded. "We'll figure this out. Step by step." Her hand squeezed mine briefly, the first physical sign of connection beyond the contract. I want this," she admitted. "Not just the contract, but us." "Then we start now," I said. Her eyes softened. "I'm scared." "Good," I said, smiling. "Fear makes us human. It means we care." She chuckled softly, a sound I'd never heard from her before. Light, delicate, real. "I think I can handle it. If you're here," she said. "I am," I said. And for the first time, I felt like we weren't two strangers bound by rules, but two people learning to trust each other. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" I asked. "For letting me be human again," she said. I smiled. "That's what I'm here for." And in that quiet, warm moment, I realized something had changed. The Ice Queen wasn't unbreakable anymore. And I wasn't just her husband in a contract. We were something real. Exactly what we were meant to be. I sat on the balcony, city lights flickering below, and let out a deep breath. "It's quiet tonight," I murmured. Victoria stepped beside me, holding 2 cups of coffee. "Too quiet," she said softly, handing me one. "Or maybe just right," I replied, wrapping my hands around the warmth. "I've been thinking everything that happened." She leaned against the railing. "Careful. Thinking too much can keep you awake." "I've been awake for months," I said quietly. "Since Lily walked away. Since Ryan tried to destroy me. Since I lost everything." Victoria glanced at me, eyes soft but unreadable. "And what do you see now?" I took a sip of coffee. "Pain. Lessons. Strength I didn't know I had." She nodded slightly. "You've changed." "I had to," I admitted. "I realized something important. Losing everything isn't the end. It's a chance to find what really matters." Victoria's gaze lingered on me. "And what matters?" "You," I said, not thinking. "You, honesty, trust, and finally, being real with someone who cares." A rare, soft smile appeared on her lips. "I care," she whispered. I smiled back, feeling a calm I hadn't known in years. I was broken before, betrayed, humiliated. I let people define my worth. And now? She asked. Now I define it myself, I said. I don't wait for validation. I act. I fight. I love on my terms. Victoria shifted closer, resting her hand lightly on mine. And me? You're part of it, I said softly. Not because of a contract, not because of obligation, because I choose you. She didn't say anything at first, just held my hand. That silence felt heavier than words, warmer than anything I'd known. I lost everything, I murmured. And somehow I found something real. Her smile deepened, subtle, tender. A glimpse behind the walls she'd built. Then we start fresh, she said quietly. I nodded, eyes on the city. A new beginning. One we actually want this time. She leaned slightly against me, not needing to speak. Her presence said enough. I thought about Lily, her betrayal, her regrets, the lessons she forced me to learn. Without her, I wouldn't have understood my strength. Without Ryan, I wouldn't have tested my limits. But none of that matters now, I said softly. It's in the past. Victoria squeezed my hand lightly. We have the present. And the future, I added. Whatever that looks like. She looked at me then, her eyes not sharp, not cold, just soft. I'm ready for it. Me too, I said. No contracts, no obligations. Just us. A gentle breeze moved across the balcony, and for the first time in a long time, I felt free. I can't believe I'm saying this, I said. But I think I'm happy. Her rare smile widened slightly. You should be. You earned it. I took a deep breath. We both did. I never thought I'd trust someone again, she admitted. But you made it possible. I made it possible because I stopped fearing loss, I said. I stopped fearing life. I embraced it. Victoria looked out at the city with me. And we face it together? Always, I said. The lights below twinkled like stars, quiet and steady. I felt the weight of the past lift slowly from my shoulders. I'm not the boy she left anymore, I murmured. I'm the man I was meant to be. Victoria leaned against me fully now, warm, solid, real. And I'm not just your husband, I said softly. I'm your partner, your choice, your equal. Good, she whispered. I smiled, feeling the final pieces fall into place. Pain had taught me, loss had shaped me, betrayal had strengthened me. I lost everything, I repeated, quietly savoring the truth. And somehow, I found something real. Her hand squeezed mine, and for the first time, the future didn't scare me. We stood together, watching the city breathe beneath us. Together, not bound by contracts, fear, or regret. Together by choice. And for the first time, I believed in beginnings again.